Hello. Before we start today's episode, if you would like a condensed version of what I'm talking about in this podcast, go ahead and subscribe to the Perfectionist Guide. You can read the entire thing in 3 minutes or less. To access this, go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/newsletter. Are you a bit of a perfectionist? Type A, hyper performer? Then you know that having the audacity to see an ideal and bring it into reality while breaking generational habits of hustle can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. If you are ready to burn bright instead of burning out, to lead without losing yourself, and to enjoy the life you have worked so hard to create, then keep listening. I'm your host, America's leader on rewiring perfectionism, CLG, and this is Perfectionism Rewired, the podcast. Welcome to Perfectionism Rewired. Today we are talking about choosing connection over protection when it comes to our relationships. The majority of perfectionists default into a reactive mindset. We see everything as a problem or a threat, and we end up being motivated by fear, seeking approval, or just wanting to be right. I want you to go through the holidays and your life empowered and not bracing for what might go wrong next. In order to be responsive and set yourself up for success instead of survival, that is going to require you to stretch your awareness. And I am giving you 2 tools to do that: the drama triangle and the winner's triangle, also known as the empowerment triangle, so that you can be aware and then decide which one you want to operate from or which one you are operating from. This is going to give you an advantage in power dynamics that we can fall into when we're in relationship. And with perfectionists, this is particularly key in your relationship with yourself. By using this, you are going to strengthen your emotional agility and resilience, but it comes with a warning because every tool can be learned as a weapon. Once you see these triangles, you can't unsee them. We're going to start with the drama triangle, and it is a model that illuminates unconscious ways that we intentionally disempower ourselves and other people around us. This was first brought into popular culture by Dr. Stephen Karpman. It's also called Karpman's triangle. So drama triangle, Karpman's triangle, not Cartman like South Park, although that is funny as we get into it, but it's Karpman. Also, I drew out some diagrams of this for you over on Pinterest. There is a link in the show notes, and I invite you to draw it out with me as you listen. If you do that, you will actually increase your ability to remember and your efficacy in using triangles as a tool by 60%. Okay, so the drama triangle, the way that I like to look at this is it's like you're living life at level 1. You're going to draw an upside down triangle. The base is at the top and then they're going down to a point. And at the bottom of that triangle, what the point is going towards, I want you to write the word victim. Okay? The victim is when we take the stance, poor me. The victim feels oppressed, helpless, hopeless, powerless. So if you tell yourself, I am not enough, other tells that you are in this victim role is if you are whining or if you are complaining. The victim denies their own resourcefulness and resilience. There is a intense focus on scarcity. You resist your emotions. You will be defending what it is that you believe in, and you don't see any choices. That's what I mean by denying your own resourcefulness and resilience. Sometimes it comes up with perfectionists where you just feel too overwhelmed to take action. So it's like when you're just such a perfectionist, you end up doing nothing. Or when you are procrastinating to the point of hurting your own chances to succeed, succeed. You know that you need to hit these numbers by the end of the quarter, and then you don't even start working towards them until you have 24 hours left. How this can come up being the victim is like you don't value your own input enough. So it's like, well, who would want to listen to me? That's a very victim-y thing to say. You also might be overly focused on what you perceive to be missing. And I just want to preface this, not that the podcast name Perfectionism Rewired doesn't give it away, but all of the behaviors and the tells and the things that you say and do that I am bringing up come from my deep expertise in specializing in perfectionists and imposter syndrome through the lens of what I see with driven, type A perfectionists or high achievers with perfectionistic behaviors. When you're in victim, you might be telling yourself like, I don't have the network that other people do, or I couldn't have a podcast because I'm not far enough along in my business yet. When problems come up, victims spin small stressors, like let's say you got some negative feedback from your supervisor, into a huge disaster. So you'll think, I'm definitely getting fired. What will I do? Like you automatically jump towards the worst case scenario, or you get in an argument with your partner and you're like, he hates me. He's looking up divorce lawyers. Victims are in a fixed mindset. They discount the potential for things to change and develop. When we are in the victim role, because it is a role that you play, it's not who you are. Some questions to ask yourself to see if you are spending a lot of time playing the victim role are asking yourself, do you believe that your life is just one problem after another? Do you manipulate others or use guilt to get help or to get what you want? If you find yourself, you're always complaining to your mom because you know that then she will come over and babysit the kids. Do you blame other people or circumstances for your difficulties? Do you say it's the recession? Oh, my boss, my clients, my children. That's another popular one. The last question is like, do you tend to be focused on your problems? That concludes victim, the bottom point of the triangle. And then on the top left-hand side of the triangle, I want you to write rescue ranger. This is also called the hero. That's how I wrote it on Pinterest. Hero, rescue ranger. It just has more of a ring to it. So the hero, they take the stance of, hey, let me help you. I can fix you. It's a very classic enabler role. You feel guilty sometimes if you don't come to someone else's rescue. But your underlying like subconscious motivation is you want to avoid your own problems. Your self-esteem is very much tied up in helping people and being needed. You feel worthless if you are not focusing on other people and being validated by other people. You believe that you're responsible for the outcome of the victim's problem. There's also this underlying motivation that you want to feel superior or be in control. When you are in hero mode, you love to make other people happy, but you do it to the point where you will gloss over like problems. You won't address things that need to be addressed. So you will be avoiding conflict and confrontation at all costs. Parisian perfectionists fall into this, like people pleasers. And you are just really looking for like that instant relief to feel validated, to get gold stars, or to seek to prove your value. Like victim, you don't want to feel your feelings. I mean, that's something that's like common with all points of the drama triangle. You want this instant in the moment. I don't want to feel uncomfortable, so I'm just going to say yes. Overfunctioning, we see a lot with the hero. If you listen to Kevin's story, how that can lead to resentment and burnout. With perfectionists, what I see in particular is there's a lot of over-preparing, over planning, and really holding on to this like rehearsed version of reality. If you are like a teacher or in a helping or healing profession, what I see with perfectionists, and I used to be guilty of this too, is that you will do the heavy lifting for your client or your patient or your student. And a lot of times you will be overly invested in the client's outcome. Like you will be more committed and dedicated to it than they are. There's this unconscious belief of you are not okay, but I am nice, so I'm going to help you. Questions to ask yourself to see where you have been playing rescue ranger or hero is to ask yourself, do you take on problems that aren't yours to carry? Do you feel responsible for fixing problems that are not yours? Do you believe that you can't say no to a request for help? Do you feel guilty when you say no to a request for help and end up helping anyways? Do you perceive other people as not as capable as you of making good decisions or helping themselves? Do you perceive other people as needing to be fixed or their lives needing to be fixed? Like they have some flaws, and if only they would fix these things. The really interesting part with perfectionists is that 90% of the time, we are playing out all three of these roles with ourselves. And I'm going to give you some examples on that. It is fascinating. But before I do, let's get into our last role. That is the villain. On the top right, I want you to write villain. And honestly, it doesn't matter where you put them. The important part is that the victim is at the bottom, because as you'll see in the next episode, when we flip it to the winner's triangle, you want to be able to see the contrast. So the villain, this is also called the persecutor, but that reminds me of like a Denzel movie. So we're just calling it the villain. Okay. The villain, they're like, it's all your fault. And you are controlling, blaming, critical, oppressive, rigid, and there is this air of superiority. When you are in the villain mode, you believe that the world is dangerous. You can't trust other people. The philosophy towards other people, they are not okay. I am better than okay. So I tell you what to do. And all of this is really a guise because there is a fear of like, you don't want to be a victim yourself. So that's why you're like, it's my way or the highway. And the way that this shows up with perfectionists is your inner critic, crappy self-talk, or as I fondly refer to mine, old shitty. Yep, it's that old OS because it's how we are programmed. So if you are telling yourself things like, I suck at this, I can't believe I didn't say that better. If you do a lot of rumination in your head, like I have like a whole book of phrases that like my old shitty throws at me, my OS throws at me. And I bet you have your own too. Another way that the villain shows up for perfectionists, because it's very tricky and nuanced, is that you will give yourself very ambitious goals. Like, I'm going to get pregnant and have a baby in 6 months. And the baby's going to be full term. The villain, in addition to yourself and your own OS, it can also be an external circumstance or a condition outside of yourself. So this could be the economy. This could be competition. This could be lack of resources or any other perceived difficulty out of our control. We can easily flip into that villain mode. Like, my boss wants me to do this, my mother-in-law, right? Maybe in your field, you might tell yourself that, you know, there's just too many other lawyers out there for you to make a living at it. Some questions to ask yourself to see if you are unintentionally living in the drama triangle and playing the role of the villain are, do I criticize myself? Do I criticize others? Do you low-key or maybe high key, see other people as powerless, incapable, or needing to be fixed? Do you speak and act in a rigid, like, are you rigid? Are you domineering? People told you that you're very inflexible. In coaching, therapy, and self-improvement, drama triangles run rampant. I'm here to eradicate them. It's why I purposely set up my coaching practice, every single container that I do when I work with clients privately, that like I do not allow clients or myself to take on any of these roles. Like, we do not fall into drama Bermuda triangles. If you are wondering if you might be in a drama triangle with your self-improvement provider or just in your life, here's what all drama triangles have in common, even drama triangles with yourself. Problems are the main focus. Typical behaviors include blaming, complaining, pitying, criticizing, manipulating. Feelings include frustration, resentment, agitation, entitlement, hopelessness, guilt, inadequacy, and feeling oppressed. Power is experienced through control, coercive control, manipulation. It's really this dynamic, this power dynamic of power over people. There isn't power with, and there's certainly no empowering others or empowering yourself. Responsibility and ownership, if there was a theme song for it in the drama triangle, it would be, who stole the cookies from the cookie jar? Courtney stole the cookies from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? Remember that song? You're playing hot potato with responsibility and ownership. Boundaries, they're leaky, they're vague, they're unclear, and they're inconsistent, so you feel like you're walking on landmines. There are tons of silent and invisible expectations that are unknown and unexpressed. The only way that you know is when you cross them. All of the actions that you take are reactive, focused on the problem. So it's like whack-a-mole. You're not getting to the root cause. You are living at the effect. You're not confronting or uncovering what the real challenge is. So therefore, everything that you do is pretty much a quick fix, and the outcomes result in there's no lasting change, and most of the time result in emotional pain and dissatisfying relationships. And it is costly. Research shows that 90% of people spend 90% of their time operating from one point or another and bouncing around the drama triangle. I don't want you to be one of those 90% because it is a craptastic way to live and to go through life. The key step to flipping your drama triangle and leveling up your life is to hire me. Just kidding. I can definitely help you do that. But the key step is awareness. Once you've noticed it, acknowledge it, say it out loud and be like, I am in the drama triangle. And then ask yourself these questions to help you get into awareness. Am I focused on problems or solutions? Do my words sound like a victim, villain, or rescue ranger? Am I pointing the finger at someone else? Am I blaming? Am I complaining? Am I treating an adult like a baby? Am I being self-loathing, whiny, blamey? Am I taking pity on other people? And really just look at like, how am I relating to myself and other people? So if you are in the role of the hero, AKA rescue ranger, you might over prepare, over plan, or just do whatever you can to like not feel uncomfortable. A simple example of this is like, I got home from my job. I didn't eat. I'm so hungry. My boss has me working too much and I wasn't able to get any food. I see Ben & Jerry's in the freezer. You deserve it. You can have this. It's okay. Don't worry about sticking with your eating protocol. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Then I can't believe you're eating all that Ben & Jerry's. Why can't you just get it together? In that scenario, I was the victim. Then I made my boss and my job the villain. Then I came in with the rescue ranger telling myself that I deserve this. It's okay. And then I switched and then I became the villain with myself. And that was 10 seconds. I just slowed it down for you. That is what I see and hear happen with perfectionists over and over and over again. Your villain might be calling you silly or incompetent. The villain really is your inner critic or your old shitty, your OS. And the victim is just disempowered, anxiety, guilt. I can't do anything about this. And then the rescuer is like Kevin's story, very much doing everything for everyone else. If you want to find out what it looks like once you have this awareness and the exact skills that each role needs to concentrate on, then subscribe and listen to the next episode. The drama triangle is just one of the many tools that you will learn to master when we work together. I heard recently that there's like 1,000 hours or less left in the year. If you are no longer going to be the victim and that you want to be a model for change, change and to set that example, for your family and to stop listening to podcasts and to actually implement to level up your life, I would love to help you. Go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/services and get in touch with me today. If you noticed in this episode, I read you like a menu, then definitely go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com. Check out the Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator. I've done the hard work and taken out the guesswork to give you frameworks backed by neuroscience, proven to work even for the most type A, high-strung, stubborn, control freak perfectionists. In the first 30 days, you'll possess a quiet confidence so secure your self-compassion will go up at least 250%. So if you want to save yourself years of trial and error, go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/accelerator today, or just click the link in the show notes to check out the Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator.